The Chicago Bulls get a 122-106 win over the Toronto Raptors, but was it impressive? We're going to talk about it all and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. I'm Hayes, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central, Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. And that, by the way, is Pat the Designer, creator of the Windy City Breeze, and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. And today's episode is brought to you guys by FanDuel. Super Bowl 59 is here, and there's no better way to make every play more exciting than with FanDuel Sportsbook. New customers can bet just $5, and if you win, you'll score $200 in bonus bets. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com to get started. Pat, the Bulls get another win, get a victory. Victories are few and far between. This is against the Toronto Raptors team that doesn't have a lot of wins, only 15 on the season, but they did come into this game on a 5-game winning streak in which they had one of the top net ratings in the entire league and the best defense over that 5-game period. The Bulls come out with a solid effort. 7 players scoring in double digits in this, but we're going to start off talking about one player in particular because I know all Bulls fans are just happy to see this kid playing well and getting minutes. Matas Buzelis, 26 minutes today, 12 points, 7 rebounds, 3 block shots, only 1 turnover, only 1 personal foul, led the team in plus minus at plus 18. How'd you feel about the young rook today?
Listen, I'm first off, I'm fully back in on the Locked On side. I got full access to everything, and so there's a perfect face already in here because there's only one face you can make when you watch how Matas played on both ends tonight. That's the stank face right there. Shout out Scottie Pippen. Shout out Scottie Pippen.
Hey,
I mean, like,
I will say this though, bro. With your internet right now, I don't know how many pictures you should be bringing up, bro.
Is it tweaking? Are we tweaking hard?
Hey, you know the animation style from Wreck-It Ralph when they were glitching? That's how you look right now.
Hey, bro, I told you I might not make it. Xfinity is tweaking on me right now. It's been a problem all day. I had to do a couple of bad shows. I don't know. They said the audio was coming through crisp, so I'm here talking. But, yeah, I mean, no, look, here's the thing. I thought Matas played phenomenal today because it was effort. It was effort-filled. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he played like a superstar today. It's 12 points at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It's not crazy numbers, but what I love about what we saw from this young man, there was zero fear in everything that he did today. We saw Scottie Barnes go at him, and he said, I'm going to go right back at you. And I thought that
Scottie Barnes got that extra chromosome. It's easy to kind of get by.
Listen, I'm not gonna judge that. We're not gonna talk about that right now. But yeah, I mean, he did try to shove his head inside of Giannis. So I don't know, what all you can do with a Scottie Barnes at all times. But no, for me, like I thought that Matas Buzelis did a phenomenal job today on both ends of the floor. Defensively, I thought he was very active. Even in times he got beat, didn't give up on plays. And offensively, listen, he's not taking a ton of shots, but he's taking impactful shots, and that's what I love to see out of this young man. I thought he played his game, and I thought he played his game well, and shout out to Matas for the night that he had tonight.
We also got to talk about how he was it Jakob Poeltl he dropped with the crossover with the hezzy? Was that Jakob Poeltl?
I think it was Jakob. I think that was Jakob.
Hey, listen, Jakob
tried to close out, and he was like, let me
Yeah. Like Matas' confidence is building, man. I love that he's never really seemed like he's gotten shaken by the lack of minutes at times that he's used as motivation. But that goes back to what we've talked about and why Matas should be playing, because he has the type of mindset that any type of adversity, he's willing, ready to just look it dead in his face and be like, all right, cool. This is what I got to do. This is what I got to do. And so love that aspect of Matas. I think there's something brewing here with Matas and people together. We're going to get into some of the more kind of advanced stats on that more towards the last segment of this show, but there's something that's cooking a little bit there that I don't know if it's going to maintain, but I do think Billy Donovan should keep trying to tap into it while it's going on. But Dalen Terry as well. Another good game from Dalen Terry, shooting the ball well, good activity out here, in transition, passing pretty well, 10 points, 4 assists. How'd you feel about Dalen Terry's game today?
Listen, I thought DT had a good game. I thought, to me, this was the DT that you kind of need to see on a night in and night out basis. Now the efficiency is crazy, right? 4 for 5 for the game. I don't expect to see that on a night in and night out basis. But again, when you talk about the effort, when you talk about taking the simple shot, that's what I loved about his game tonight. Only took 2 3-pointers. A lot of times it seems like he wants to be that spot up 3-point shooter. It's not your game, young man. It never has been your game. You've been the guy who can facilitate when the time is right. You've been the guy who can get to the bucket. And listen, the dunk is crazy. Let's just call it what it was. I didn't think he had it in him. There's never been a play in Dalen Terry history that said he had that cock back slamming on your head type of dunk. And I mean, Grady Dick was on the floor, so take that for what it will.
Bro, the 2 calls by Adam and Mean today, though, bro.
You know he's doing it on purpose.
Bro,
I love Adam.
I think the first one legitimately was just I'm in the midst of the game. I'm calling the game. We all good. But you know the one that I was like, hey, no, he's doing it for real. When he said, this was Stacey King, Dick swole up and stuffed it in. I had to write it down.
Yeah.
That's intentional.
Yeah.
That doesn't that statement makes no sense unless it's intentional.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Adam Amin is one of my favorite people in this Chicago Sports Talk game. He's the only person who has hugged me so close that I was like, I think he really means like the love that he's trying to put out into the world right now. He was wilding tonight, and I know he probably has a DJ set after this, and I hope that he has clipped his own voice up to put in some of these drops that he's going to do on the DJ set. Because what he said tonight was outlandish in 3 or 4 different area codes. I mean, I had to a couple of times that I've had him a meme, dog.
I think it's illegal in a few countries as well.
Maybe this one coming soon. We'll see. It's wild times out here. But no, at the end of the day, listen, I thought the Dalen I'll say this. The young Bulls did a good job. I thought Dalen Terry gave some really good impact. I thought he got other guys involved really well in the game. And I thought that the consistent pressure that he put on just on the driving kick, like the willingness to finish is so important in the NBA because it makes people realize, okay, he will attack the rim. And I felt like it opened up the kick out for Dalen Terry all night. Every time he got an opportunity to go in there, the driving kick I thought was really open for him. So it was good to see Dalen play with that kind of confidence.
Yeah, I mean, the ability to finish is something that I think you gain a little bit more confidence in as your career goes on. So Dalen Terry gaining that confidence is really good. And shout out to Billy Donovan as well for playing these young guys and letting them go at it, because I tell you what, like there's something about the way that the energy that these young players are playing with, which we're going to talk about a little bit more here in the last segment today. But overall, too, I want to ask you about this one, just because we don't have a cutout for this one. How'd you feel about Coby White's game today?
Felt like a Coby game. Felt like it was a this is what's tough about the Coby game, right? Coby balled out tonight. He absolutely played out of his mind. It felt like it wasn't as much of an impact as it needed to be in the moments that you needed him to have that impact. And maybe I'm being way too critical there, but 8 points in the first half, you could have put this team away. It's a 15-win team. I get it. They've been playing better than we've seen them play in a while. This is not a good basketball team. These guys are up and down, would be the easiest thing to say about the Toronto Raptors. I thought that the Bulls came out the gate really slow. I know that they left that first half with a lead, but I wanted to see Coby be very assertive early on in the game, and I feel like we didn't get that until the second half. And it seems to be, I wonder if he's taken a little bit out of the Zach LaVine book, let everybody else cook, and then I'll turn my game on. It's not what I want to see from my number one guy when he's the number one guy on the floor. What I want to see is Coby White go, my ball, my time, let's go out of here and put these guys away and destroy their spirits. And you did that in the third quarter, 33 points to 24. I thought the defense stepped up as well. You did that in the fourth quarter as well. But I would have liked to see that early in the game. And I just feel like Coby, in that first half, it's not even that he was terrible. It's just I felt like he wasn't really trying to find his game. Again, we talked about it, going to the bucket, getting your game from the inside, and then working your way out.
I mean, I think Coby let the game come to him overall. Like, I get what you're saying as far as early on, but I think like you got to fill out, do a filling out period. Who's going to have it, and everybody was kind of sharing the ball at that point. But I'm glad that Coby was able to figure it out. And now that first half, he played pretty bad upon his return. Second half, he played okay. He played solid in this game as well. So hopefully things are going to start looking up for Coby as well. But we're going to talk about somebody who things are looking up for here recently, and that is the other Pat. That's P. Will, who actually has been playing like P he wants to lately. So we're going to get into that. But first, we got to get to a message from one of our sponsors, and that is TurboTax.
All right, let's talk about TurboTax real quick.
We got it.
All right, no, I got nervous.
Computer try to hate on me there for a second. This is a message from our sponsor, Intuit TurboTax. Tax was waiting and wondering and worrying if you were going to get any money back, and then waiting, wondering, and worrying some more. Now, Taxes is matching with a TurboTax expert who can do your taxes as soon as today. An expert who gives your taxes their undivided attention as they work on your return while you get real-time updates on their progress so you can focus on your day. An expert who will find you every deduction possible and file every form, every investment, and everything with 100% accuracy. Also, you can get the most money back guaranteed. No waiting, no wondering, no worries. Now, this is Taxes. Get an expert with TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live full service, real-time updates only in the iOS mobile app. See guaranteed details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. More Locked On Bulls coming up next. Your internet spread it to my internet, bro. Like, this is what we're doing here, man. I was operating perfectly fine until then, but nonetheless, Pat, P. Will, bro. I think there's a correlation. If I'm not mistaken, last year as well, when you finally was fed up with P. Will and went on a little bit of a rant there, I think you responded with a few games good after that as well. So maybe we just need to, every 5 games or so, you just gotta completely rant on P. Will.
I get to P. Will in a second because I don't care about him. He's not that good. Just want to drop this out there. Breaking news right quick. DeJounte Murray has suffered a season-ending torn Achilles tendon for the New Orleans Pelicans. That sucks.
That means that's going to be about a season and a half.
Yeah, that absolutely sucks. Prayers up to DeJounte Murray. I care more about that injury than I care about the 4 baskets that P. Will made tonight. Listen, he made more of an impact. I thought he was much better defensively tonight. I will give him credit for that. Mm-hmm. Patrick Williams defensively, it looked like P. Will of old tonight. Thought he made some good moves in the second half of this game. Not only just defending the rim, but also being an impact in the passing lanes. Patrick Williams did not do like I heard Stacey and them talking tonight like Patrick Williams just balled out of his mind coming off of the bench. Dog, he was 4 for 11. Like, he was not good.
Yeah, but it's more than just shooting though, Pat.
His impact was still the same. He was not good.
Plus 15.
Are we excited that he had a almost double-double? Is that what it is? We're glad that he had an almost double-double off of the bench.
It's the activity. The 11 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. Like, that's P. Will. Like, he had his moments too. Make no mistake about it. It wasn't like Patrick Williams didn't still have some P. Will moments in this. But I do think that we're seeing much more consistent engagement from P. Will. Now, I get your argument as far as if you want to say, hey, he should always be this engaged. I'm not going to argue that at all. He should always be. This should be near a baseline for P. Will. But I think when you look at where P. Will has been over the course of the season, you got to kind of acknowledge that he is playing with a lot more activity out there lately.
Listen, my argument is now you're going up against the backups and you're still shooting 4 for 11. My argument is now you're going up against the backups and good job. You're able to block some shots. He still played 28 minutes in this game. He's still getting a ton of minutes. I feel like yes, did he play better? Sure. This is probably the best that we've seen him play. And it still was for 36% from the field. Yeah, he shot 40% from 3, 2 for 5. I thought he hit a couple of big threes there, especially when the Bulls went on that run. It was at end of the beginning of the fourth quarter to really stretch that lead out. But I'm not enamored by an 11-9 night from Patrick Williams. I'm sorry. I don't have that in me. Like the impact, it's not like he stopped anybody. He played better around the rim. He played the best defense we've seen him play around the rim the entire season because he's been horrible inside the paint. I'm glad that you had a good game against a 15-win team where you should have a good game. Also versus your teammate where it seems like you got a little bit, or your college teammate, I should say, where it seems like you had a little bit more to play for. But I'm not sitting here like changing my tune on Patrick Williams because he's had a couple of nice games off of the bench, and this was the best defensive game we've seen out of him all season.
No, he's played better defense than that, but he was engaged for the most part this season. I think I get what you're saying. Like, it's that conversation on, is the bar starting to be lowered for P. Will rather than him rising up to the bar?
It's at the basement right now.
Right. Yeah. So I get that's the thing that you had. And no doubt about it, like Dalen Terry and Matas Buzelis still outplayed P. Will today, for sure.
Let me ask you this. And I think this is a real conversation on, we're just wishing for the best at this point. If Torrey Craig gives you this game, is this a good game from Torrey Craig?
Yeah, Torrey Craig actually gave us this game earlier.
Actually, maybe Torrey Craig. But if Javon Carter gives you this game, let me go to somebody.
If Javon Carter gives you anything, if he's plus 15, yeah, it's still a positive game for Javon.
I mean, we're looking at the plus 15, but we know how plus minus works in the NBA, right? It's all about who you're on the floor.
No, but he was on the floor through the key moments. This was a game which P. Will, his activity actually did, I think, translate to plus minus some. There's always that thing of, are you on the floor at the right moment?
There's some of it that went to it, but like, I just feel like we're looking for the best because he is P. Will, because he is the 4th overall, but we're still looking for the best that we can get from him. And it's like, this man went 4 for 11. He was 2 for 5 from 3. That's good there. He got to the free throw line one time, and he finally started grabbing rebounds. Like, good job.
That's the thing that's really been the most consistent for him coming off the bench is his rebounding off the bench has been phenomenal here lately.
Phenomenal is kind of a stretch, but it's better than what we've seen. 8, 7, and 8. 8, 7, and 9. I mean,
yeah,
it's better. Like, again, I guess maybe I'm still holding him to the standard of don't play like just the mediocre role player when you're making $18 million a year. These are, to me, mediocre role player numbers. This is you want to know what I'll say? This might sound crazy. This is what I expected out of Otto Porter Jr. by the end. This is what I expected out of Otto Porter Jr. by the end. Hey, bro, run on the court, give me plus 10 points and some rebounds because you're tall.
We'll see. I mean, listen.
Oh, I've seen it. Listen, it's not a Will Smith for me. I've seen it. I know who he is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but the thing is, Pat, this is almost like the Clint Capella thing again. Like, I get where you're coming from, but I think that again, we're judging it on the P. Will curve. And I get that's not something you subscribe to, and that's perfectly fine because we shouldn't. It should be on the impact curve. But P. Will is actually paid like a bench player, and he's coming off the bench now. I'll take bench player production. It's basically
I get you, but I don't even know if we're judging this like a bench. Like, this is not a
bro.
Defensively,
11 and 9 off the bench for a bench player if they were able to do that.
Defensively, this was a good game for P. Will. That's the best I can take from it. This is one of the better defensive games I've seen out of him. I thought that he stepped up. I thought around the rim, he actually decided to be a rim protector. I thought that he didn't allow people to move him off of his spot. And he grabbed rebounds. I'm glad to see that he finally decided to play in the NBA. That's all I take from this game.
The pat on pat crime consistently is crazy, bro.
The pat on pat crime is truth on one end. You know what I mean? We can be mad about it, or we can realize that Pat's telling the truth and has been about P. Will for 3 years now.
It is what it is, man.
Hey, man, we'll see what ends up happening here. But look, we gotta take a look at the. I will say this: solid day overall from the young Bulls. Dare I say, one of the better days that we've seen from the young Bulls. And we got to talk about that after we have a word from our sponsors over at FanDuel. I can hit things now.
I mean, that's why you took a break from the podcast. You was hitting things. I mean,
Super Bowl 59 is here. That's going to be a great joke in 10 years. Say that joke for Super Bowl 69. One game, two teams, endless possibilities. Wild. And there's no better way to make every play more exciting than with FanDuel Sportsbook, whether it's predicting the first touchdown, calling the MVP, or even betting on the coin toss. FanDuel makes it easy to get in on the action with live betting all game long. You can adjust your bets as the game unfolds and feel the thrill from kickoff to the final whistle. The live betting feature lets you stay involved no matter what happened on the field, and the app is super easy to navigate. Plus, knowing that you can place a $5 bet and potentially win $200 in bonus bets for the Super Bowl, that's the icing on the cake. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com to get started. Bet just $5, and if you win, you'll score $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Bet with FanDuel, official partner and Super Bowl 59. I bet you Terry Rozier don't want to be a part of that. Was that Jonte Porter just went by?
So we've basically talked about the young Bulls, man, and I want to talk about the impact that they're having together. These numbers that when you look at these on off, like, first of all, we only went 4 deep into the bench today. It was Patrick Williams, Jalen Smith, Dalen Terry, and Matas Buzelis that played off the bench today. All players that are 24 and younger, and they all made a really good impact in this game. And I think that, and I know this is going to change some once Zach's back. I was going to move to the bench. It could strengthen that. It could take some minutes away from somebody. But you're starting to see it seem like they're developing a play style coming off that bench where it's basically like, all right, bet. You just got done playing our starters. Now we're about to just keep running at you. You're going to have to guard us because we're just going to keep moving. And it's the youthful exuberance is starting to do something for this team coming off the bench. Let me ask you this, Pat. Is this something that do you think Billy Donovan could tap into a little bit more consistently? Maybe it doesn't have to be every game, but like when you need that energy, are you starting to trust these young players to bring that consistently for this Bulls team?
You know what I like over the last couple of games is the energy of we're going to get guys involved that we don't expect to be as involved there. I thought that how he's gotten Jalen Smith involved over the last couple of games has been actually fairly effective. Now, it worked out today more than the previous game versus Boston. I think in Boston he ended up with 9 points, but just did not shoot the ball effectively through most of that game. Tonight, you saw a confidence in Jalen Smith that I thought really spoke to some of that getting guys more involved off of the bench there and getting these young guys involved. I think that carried over with Dalen Terry as well. And I'll say this. To me, it starts with Matas Buzelis. This young man is exuding an energy that it seems like everybody else is picking up on. We've never seen Dalen play the way that we saw him play tonight. And I'm not gonna lie, during the live call, I called him boozy a couple of times. It irritated my soul. But even on simple night, right? 4 for 8 from the field, 2 for 4 from the field, had 12 points plus 18, but just involving himself in so many different ways that it led to other guys getting good fast breaks, led to other guys being around the rim, led to people actually worrying about him while he was in the game, especially after he got the little mix up on Jakob Poeltl going to the bucket, that he was able to dump some things off. Like, I thought that the impact that you saw that Matas Buzelis had kind of impacted how everybody else picked their energy up. And to me, that's something we haven't had on this team in a long time. Remember, we used to be excited about Dalen for one thing, energy. We used to talk about Dalen and just go, he's going to fight. He's going to be aggressive. And like, yes, it's working out now. Yes, it's working in a scenario where you can play him more because he's becoming more efficient on the field. But I just feel like when you talk about those guys off of the bench, when you talk about Matas, when you talk about what we're seeing out of P. Will, when you talk about Dalen Terry and Jalen Smith, like, it seems like it all starts once you see one of those guys get going. And recently, since P. Will has gone to the bench, that guy consistently has been Matas Buzelis.
Yeah, and it's hopefully something that Billy Donovan is really taking because it keeps Billy Donovan echoes the same thing. He's consistent with like rookies need to do this, rookies need to do that if they want minutes. But like I think sometimes Billy Donovan loses the fact of, all right, but how is this specific rookie going to learn more from failing? With that way, they won't make the mistakes the next time. Whereas rather, if you pull them when they make a mistake and then say, hey, are you going to learn from that mistake? Sometimes you got to put that in practice. And I think Matas is one of those guys who just has that. Matas exudes, like you said, that so much leadership qualities as far as on the court, where it's like, all right, watch what I do. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to make a play. And that's something that I really appreciate about Matas. And you're starting to see that by everybody else. Dalen's starting to have that, where I'm going to go out there and make a play. And then when he goes out there and makes that first play, it's like the Batman thing, even though in that terrible Justice League movie, when Flash asked him, he's like, just save one. And then you figure it out. Just save one. Just make one play. And then they start figuring it out at that point.
Wait, the original Justice League movie you talking about? I was gonna say, hold on now. The Snyder cut was fire. I was fooling with the Snyder cut.
The Snyder cut is fire.
That original one was terrible though.
Yeah.
That original one was horrible. No, I'll say this, and it kind of goes to your modest point, right? Like you're seeing him do something with the minutes that we haven't seen anybody do with minutes that they've been given. Julian Phillips has been given minutes, and he's been solid in some games. He's kind of disappeared completely in the other. Dalen Terry, kind of the same thing. Matas has said one way or the other, oh, you're going to see the same things. I'm going to try and put somebody in a bucket. I'm going to try and rise up. I'm going to pull this three from the corner. It may not always fall, but I'm going to be confident in who I am as a player. And I think that's something we haven't seen from some of the other guys on this team. I like seeing that from Matas Buzelis. And I mean, look, he's gotten that 6-man in the role. I do wonder this though. And I'll ask I'll ask the chat this. I'll ask you this. You think Billy's scarred from P. Will? Because P. Will was just like we're drafting you, you're playing.
No. I don't
Billy
think so.
played rookies when he was in OKC.
I mean, he's played rookies here. Like, let's run it down. P. Will played immediately his rookie year. Io played immediately his rookie year. His role grew over that season, but he played immediately his rookie year. Dalen was nobody thought Dalen was going to play.
Ain't Io same rookie year?
No, Io was the year after P. Will.
I was year after.
Dalen, we knew he was raw. Marko Simonovic, trash. He's out the league. Julian Phillips didn't play to start off his rookie year, but then he was on pace to play 60 games before he went down. So it's been a mixed bag, but Billy has played rookies more than he hasn't. Now, they're not out there getting 20, 22 minutes, but they've been playing more. They play more than they don't.
I wonder if there's a hate towards the high picks, though. Right, Dalen is still the least played rookie of least played or 18th overall pick of all time.
Yeah. Dalen was also Dalen was raw up until 3 months ago. So.
Dalen is. I'm not sitting here but I think that's the thing, though, right? Dalen is raw, but he was your 18th overall selection, and you wouldn't throw him on the court.
Yeah, but that was also a very different place. That team was still a team that was convinced that they were competing. So a raw rookie at that point in time for a team that is veterans, that was still the same offseason that we got Drum, that we got Goran Dragic came in. So I kind of understand why he didn't play at that time, because they were trying to go veterans at that time.
I get that at the beginning of the season. By the end of the season, we knew. We were in the same spot that we about to be in.
Yeah, but we also knew that Dalen Terry, when he got on the court, looked like a deer in the headlights. Like, hey, which way did he go?
No, because we was sitting there, we was like, look, play him at least. Because remember I think it was, do we have a home and home against Milwaukee? And he actually got an opportunity to play, and he balled. Like I think the first game he balled. I think the second game he was a lot of energy and a lot of fouls. But we were like, listen, there's something the Bulls have been missing. Like I think my point is that you've seen these young guys kind of hit these moments. Matas Buzelis is hitting one of these stretches where me and you both look at him and we're like, you got to keep playing him. He's playing 28 minutes. Is he playing 28 minutes because Zach LaVine is hurt? Or not hurt?
Absolutely.
Because Zach LaVine is not here, I should say.
That many minutes, yes. That many minutes, yes. I think if Zach LaVine was playing, I don't know if the momentum, because we have seen Billy Donovan, even when Zach LaVine was in there, that Modest players played 20 minutes before if he's playing really well. But I think even if Zach LaVine was healthy, you're probably still seeing 15, 16 minutes from Modest.
Which is fine. But my concern is we've seen kind of this same trend where Julian last year had a stretch where he had to play, started playing really well. And it was like, okay, well, keep playing Julius. Let him keep building his confidence. Sit down. Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's the end of that confidence. That was
Well,
great.
that's because he got hurt. Remember, we ended up finding out that he was dealing with an injury. They just hadn't sit him.
No, they had sat him. He came back, had a terrible game, and then got hurt. But,
I think he was dealing with something.
He probably was dealing with it. But my point is, like, just don't kill the confidence that this young man has.
Agreed.
You're seeing him. He's speaking in press conferences going, I can't get better unless I play them. I will never get better unless I go up against Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, unless I go up against Scottie Barnes and he's trying to headbutt me in the nether regions for some reason. Unless I'm going, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with there. Watch Scottie. Like, don't kill that young man's confidence because he's willing to show you, hey, if you give me the time, I'm going to give you the work.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully Billy Donovan gets that message. You never know with Bubblegum Billy, but we shall see. Any last words, Pat, before we get up out of here, brother?
Tap into Black Myth Wukong.
Listen, I love that. You know what I love about that game, and it's such an underrated thing that for the prologue, when the game first opens, they give you have all the powers, and then they take it away. So now you're sitting there like, I got to get that back. I got to get that back. They know what they're doing.
Get in on that. That's a phenomenal game. I'm excited about it.
Phenomenal.
It's a phenomenal game. I love Black Myth Wukong. I wouldn't be mad if it was White Myth Wukong, but
y'all can follow us at Locked On Bulls. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, lockedonbulls@gmail.com. You can follow Pat at Pat the Designer. You can follow me at CEO Hayes. We'll see you guys Sunday after the game. Love you guys. Go Bulls. Be good out there. Peace. No dick from deep today.
Nothing like DEI will come. There's a couple of from deep.
Hold on.
What up?
Wait a second.
What's up?
You got to do the song.
They thought it was a game. See red. Great and dick. He was dropping. He will. Glad you finally showed. See, he grabbed a couple boards around the rim, but Dick still punched the hole.
Peace, y'all. We may get fired because of that last one.